Hi everybody! So I'm really excited. Today I'm starting a new series on this channel. It's going to be so fun. And I have already reviewed on my blog the Disney Canon. I've watched all 54 Disney animated films, and I've given my thoughts. And I did that when I was injured. I had a torn MCL, so I had a lot of time where I couldn't move. And it was awesome, great experience, but I would really like to do something similar to that here on this channel. But what I'm going to do is every Wednesday I'm going to post a video of a review of a Disney Canon film, and this is by no means to take away from what my friend the Lawn Gnome is doing in his series, which you definitely want to check out. Mine is going to be in chronological order, and I am going to, of course, start with Snow White. And I would love if you put your comments down, what you think of these films. And also, I don't want to be beholden to necessarily my reviews on the Disney Canon on my blog, because things change, and every viewing I might think things differently. And I already know a couple of them I am going to either be harder on or nicer on, because I've had sort of second thoughts after writing the reviews. And so I don't, yeah, I reserve that right to change my mind from the blog. So today we're going to talk about Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. And this, of course, was the first animated film from Walt Disney Animated Studios. It was a huge risk for Walt to do. They basically mortgaged his house. They spent all this time doing it. Nobody had ever done in America from a major studio done an animated feature film. And so this was a big, bold move for him, and boy did it pay off. It was a huge hit at the time. Started it all for Walt Disney. And so does it hold up? And when you watch it today? And I say yes, it does. Amazingly enough, it does. You wouldn't think that it would. For a movie that was made in 1937, the animation still feels pretty fluid, and it still feels pretty lush. There's definitely moments where you can tell the age, but not very many. And especially sequences like when the evil witch is transitioning to the hag. Just the colors and the way they do the bubbles and the lightning and the way you see her hair change. It's so great. And you've got, of course, so many great characters. You have all the dwarfs, which are so lovely and sweet and funny. And you have Snow White, you have the evil queen. So great characters. Wonderful music by Frank Churchill, Paul Smith, and Lee Harline, who would then go on to also participate in the Pinocchio and some of the other early films. And I think the only downside to the music for me is that Adriana Castellati, who's great in the voice performance of Snow White, but her voice is very high pitched, which I don't think necessarily ages that well. It just sounds dated to me. And some of it is not the most pleasant, I think, just because it's so high pitched. But I still like the songs themselves very much. You've got a lot of different emotions in this film. You have comedic moments with like the washing song with Dopey, and you have the Whistle While You Work song. You have all those sweet, funny moments. You also have some scary moments, like when she's running through the forest. That still, I think, holds up pretty well. It's pretty spooky. It's pretty scary. I think if you watched it with kids, like some of them would still get scared of that today, which you can't always say for old school scares. Some of them feel very, very dated. And so I think that holds up very well. I think that you've got a great villain in the evil queen, because she's queen, for goodness sakes. Like, she has all of the power, but she has to be fairest. She has to be the most beautiful. That's not good enough for her to just be queen. Laverne as the voice work for the evil queen and the witch, brilliant. Amazing. One of the best voice performances, honestly, I think, in all of Disney. She's just great. And the fact that she's able to pull off that haggard, voice of the lady. And that just makes that whole transition scene work so well. It's a pretty simple story. I think the prince is very bland. I think that Snow White, while I think she's an okay character, she's not my favorite of the Disney princesses. She's probably near the bottom, because I think she's just kind of bland and perky and everything else. But she's fine. I like her. She's positive, but she's just not my favorite. Overall, I think it has good songs, even if some of the execution isn't my favorite, but the animation is great. It has a great villain, and it is very, I think, well paced. I'm never bored when watching it. It keeps kind of the story going. It's not that long. It's a classic good story where you get a little bit of everything that you could want in a story. So very, very sad. The scene with the funeral, where Grumpy finally breaks down, that scene is devastating. It's so sad. And so I think that you get a little bit of everything. You get the sad, you get the scary, you get the funny, you get the the revenge and the classic fairy tale type stories. And so overall, it's just a really entertaining, beautiful film that I think holds up quite well. And it's just so important, of course, to see as the start of the Disney as the start of Disney, of everything that we know for Disney. So let me know what you think of Snow White. Put in the comment section below. And I'm excited for this series. It's going to be really fun. So thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.